If you think grocery prices are bad now, wait until you see what's coming in 2025. 5 everyday items that you probably bought this week are about to become nearly impossible to find. And I'm not talking about luxury goods. In the next 12 minutes, I'll reveal exactly which 5 grocery staples are at risk, why supply chains are collapsing for these specific items, and most importantly, the insider strategies to prepare your family without breaking the bank. This isn't about panic buying, it's about being smart before everyone else catches on. Welcome to Financial Area, where we give you the insider knowledge to protect your wallet and your family's future. If this kind of money-saving intelligence is valuable to you, smash that like button and subscribe, because what I'm about to share could save you hundreds of dollars in the coming months. Right now, 70% of shoppers are already worried about rising grocery prices, but what most people don't realize is that we're facing something much worse than just inflation. A perfect storm of supply chain disruptions, tariffs, and extreme weather events is creating shortages that will make certain items nearly impossible to find. I've spent weeks analyzing supply chain reports, conducting interviews with industry insiders, and gathering data from over 3,000 stores nationwide. What I discovered should concern every family in America. We're not just looking at higher prices, we're looking at empty shelves for items you use every single day. Let's start with the first item that's already disappearing: eggs. Now you might think you've seen the worst of egg shortages, but what's happening right now is just the beginning. A devastating outbreak of H5N1 bird flu has forced farmers to cull over 30 million chickens across 9 states. We're talking about entire barns being emptied overnight, years of work lost, and a supply shortage, and that simply cannot keep up with demand. The impact is staggering. Wholesale egg prices soared to $8 per dozen in February. That's more than double what they were the previous year. Major chains like Waffle House started adding surcharges for every single egg, and grocery stores began imposing strict purchase limits, sometimes just 2 cartons per family. While prices have dropped by nearly 50% since then, the market remains incredibly volatile, especially during holidays when demand spikes. But here's what the grocery stores don't want you to know. You can prepare for this. First, freeze your eggs. Crack them, whisk them, and pour them into ice cube trays. 1 cube equals 1 egg. Frozen eggs last for months and work perfectly for baking or scrambling. Second, diversify your protein sources now. Stock up on canned tuna, beans, peanut butter, and chickpea flour. These alternatives are stable and affordable when eggs become scarce. The second item vanishing from shelves is imported seafood and fish. The United States relies heavily on imported seafood, particularly from China, and recent trade policies have imposed a crushing 170% tariff on squid imports. Prices for frozen shrimp and scallops are already up 60%, and safety recalls have pulled an additional 45,000 pounds of frozen shrimp from shelves due to contamination concerns. When imports dry up, domestic seafood prices explode. Salmon has jumped from $12 to $36 per pound virtually overnight. Major restaurant chains are already reformulating their menus to use more domestic options, and that's your warning sign that retail prices are about to follow. Here's your strategy. If you find wild-caught fish under $8 per pound, buy it and freeze it using vacuum-sealed bags. Properly stored, it will last up to 8 months. Watch what the big restaurant chains are doing. When they pivot to domestic seafood, you know retail prices are about to skyrocket. The third category that's becoming liquid gold is premium cooking oils and specialty vinegars. These items are vanishing from shelves, with prices rising every single week. Tariffs on Chinese imports and Mexican avocado oil are driving costs up by as much as 300%. Authentic extra virgin olive oil from Italy has jumped from $18 to $31 per bottle in just 2 months, forcing restaurants to either compromise on quality or dramatically raise their prices. The problem goes deeper than just tariffs. Suppliers are mixing oils to keep costs down, leading to inconsistent quality. Specialty vinegars, which require years to age properly, are even more vulnerable. Once current stocks run out, replacements could take years to arrive. Here's how to stay ahead. Buy smaller bottles because oils degrade after opening. Shop at specialty stores on Tuesday afternoons. That's when they typically restock with the freshest inventory and best prices. Store your oils in dark glass bottles away from heat and light, and transfer any oils from plastic containers to glass to prevent them from going rancid. You can also create your own flavored oils by infusing neutral oils with herbs or spices, and make custom vinegar blends using base vinegars. The fourth item facing a crisis is canned goods, but not for the reason you think. Yes, crop failures are affecting what goes into the cans. But the bigger problem is the aluminum shortage affecting the cans themselves. Production delays of 4 to 6 weeks are now common, and by March 2025, canned vegetable availability is expected to drop by 35%. A recent cyber attack on United Natural Foods disrupted supply chains nationwide, affecting everything from frozen foods to pantry staples. Rising energy costs have pushed aluminum production expenses up by 40%, and companies are passing these costs directly to consumers. Here's the insider secret. Aluminum cans are used for vegetables, soups, cat food, coffee, and energy drinks. When aluminum becomes scarce, companies prioritize their highest profit items, leaving staples like diced tomatoes at the bottom of the list. Your strategy should focus on store brands first. Store brands are often made in the same facilities as name brands, cost 30% less, and disappear last during shortages. Check production dates because fresh cans last 3 to 4 years when stored properly. Write purchase dates on your cans to rotate your stock efficiently. Store canned goods between 50 and 70 degrees Fahrenheit. Keep them off concrete floors and away from moisture to prevent spoilage. The fifth and final category that's transitioning from everyday to luxury is fresh berries and specialty produce. California and Florida supply 99% of America's winter berries, but both states have been hit by the worst frost events in 30 years. In California, 40% of berry crops froze on the vine. In Florida, a warm spell followed by a sudden freeze destroyed 60% of the winter berry output. Transportation is making things worse. Shipping costs have spiked 23% since November, driven by new emission regulations that force smaller transport companies to either upgrade their fleets or cut routes entirely. Many truckers are refusing refrigerated loads due to high costs and longer routes, leaving berries stranded in warehouses. Mexico's berry season is starting 2 weeks early, thanks to ideal growing conditions, and major retailers have secured contracts for these berries, but they're paying premium prices that won't benefit consumers. Here's how to save on produce. Focus on frozen berries. They're often more nutritious than fresh because they're picked at peak ripeness and flash frozen. Buy them in bulk when they're on sale and store them in vacuum-sealed bags for up to 18 months. For avocados, store them in a paper bag with a banana to speed ripening, then refrigerate them to extend their shelf life. One insider tip that saved a neighbor $400 during the last shortage. Buy frozen organic berries in bulk, divide them into smaller vacuum-sealed portions, and store them for up to 18 months. This approach works for many items, canned goods, oils, and more, helping you avoid waste while saving serious money. The key difference between being prepared and being caught off guard could mean the difference between feeding your family affordably or scrambling for alternatives at triple the price. These shortages and price hikes aren't random. They follow patterns we've seen before, but with new complications and greater intensity. Monitor prices and stock up when they dip, especially for items with long shelf lives. Diversify your pantry by exploring alternatives for proteins, oils, and produce to stay flexible when your first choice isn't available. Use proper storage techniques to extend shelf life and reduce waste. Stay informed by watching trends in restaurant menus and learning grocery restocking schedules. The goal isn't to panic buy, it's to prepare wisely. The grocery game is changing rapidly, but with the right strategies, you can stay ahead of the curve and protect your family's budget. If this insider information helped you prepare for what's coming, hit that like button and subscribe to Financial Area for more money-saving strategies that the mainstream media won't tell you about. In the comments below, let me know which of these 5 items you're most concerned about, and I'll respond with specific tips for your situation. Remember, the difference between preparedness and panic is knowledge, and now you have the insider information to make smart choices in the months ahead. Stay prepared, stay smart, and keep watching Financial Area for the financial intelligence you need to thrive in uncertain times.